Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ellis and today I'm back with a preview for Wolverhampton Wanderers against Everton at Molineux on Saturday night. It's an 8pm kickoff, which no one really likes, to be fair to the away fans going. It's going to be a nightmare getting back. It's a weird kickoff time for sure. But we're playing Wolves, we're back. We've not played in quite a while now. We're looking at about 10 days. And it's time for some more Everton again. And finally, that doesn't feel like a worrying sign, does it? It's time for Everton again, and we aren't stressed about them, which is just fantastic. And it's a game which could well have been a 6-pointer at the time. I don't think it is anymore. It'd be very nice to win it, but I don't think it's essential now, which is just a massive credit to David Moyes and the team for what they've been able to do since Moyes has come in. We're 10 points above Wolves now. Very much got a big gap between us and them. And Wolves, if anyone, are worrying about relegation. Definitely not us at the moment. They've come into this game with mixed form, really. They've not been doing too badly under Vitor Pereira since he come in. He picked up the results from what Gary O'Neill was getting, but he's not necessarily set the world alight, has he? And they've been relying on one man, really, and that's Matheus Cunha, who's going to be out of this game, which is fantastic news for us. He won't be able to play because he did some sort of crazy punch and headbutt attack on somebody and decided to cost his team and get banned for 3 games. So Matheus Cunha is not going to be available for this. It's a chance now for whoever is going to come in for them to step up, but he is by far their best player, and I think they're really going to miss him. I think that'll be a massive help for us, I imagine, because he can just dig you out of games that you're struggling in. He can win you a match you were never deserving to win of, and maybe he could have done that in this game. But he won't be doing now, which is great news for us. On the Everton side of things, we're looking good. We got a decent result against Brentford. It was such a depleted side, and a side that were probably just running out of gas after such a good run. And to get a point at Brentford, I think that's a top result that against a team who they're very much on it. They're a good side. They haven't had loads of great results at home, but in general, they're quite a tough team to go to at home. At the start of this season, we were looking at the home form as unbelievable. And yes, it's tailed off, but I think that was a really good away result. And we're playing well, aren't we? We're good to watch. The players are trying to win these games, and we're not going into this game against Wolves thinking, oh, can we nick something? We're thinking, we should probably go at these and try and beat them because we've got the players to do it and we've got the confidence to do it as well. There's a boost in feeling around the club in general. Got the new stadium on the horizon. All the plans are in place for the future already as well. And it seems now Kevin Felwell's leaving too, which is an interesting one, but I suppose it just further reinforces the fact that the freaking group are here for this brand new era, and there's going to be a great amount of change, which is really exciting, isn't it? And that should help fuel us for the rest of this season to make sure we have a good end, because you've got this fantastic thing to look forward to in the summer and at the start of the new season. That let's go out on a high here, let's have a great end to this season, and if we can do it against Wolves, we can beat them. You get 13 points clear of them. You pretty much put them completely out of sight, don't you, at that point? In terms of the team for us, don't think there'll be many changes at all, really. You've still got the Alcaraz-Decore debate. I think Alcaraz struggled a little bit against Brentford, but then he's always got that X factor about him, hasn't he? And he does need games to learn the way the Premier League works, and I feel like he's got that extra bit of quality on the ball that Decore doesn't have. But then, like I've said in other previews, maybe it's right to play Decore away from home just to have that extra solidity and make sure that your team are pressing as a unit and you can really work together when in defence as well. But I would not be against them starting Alcaraz here. Maybe it's the game against someone below you in the league to go and really thrive. He had a great game against Crystal Palace. He could definitely do that again here, so I would not mind seeing him at all. And you got Jake O'Brien as well, absolutely nailed in this team now. Fantastic header against Brentford, and we want to see him score goals, don't we? Because he did it for Leon. We know he can do it. And he's just such a threat for us. The fact that he's playing right back and our right back's such a threat from corners, it's ideal, isn't it? And he's the one now I'm looking at that right back position thinking, whoever he's going to come up against, I'm not really worried because he's a pretty solid defender, isn't he? And we can see that eventually he will move into the middle. Whenever that is, doesn't really matter because at the moment our centre-backs are playing okay. So that's ideal as well. It's great for us. I think Wolves are nothing to majorly worry about. they'll obviously be up for it with it being an 8 p.m. game on a Saturday night, but I'm not too worried about this one, really. I'm just glad it doesn't mean anything, do you know what I mean? It's just, it does mean something because we want to climb the table, but there's no panic about it, which is a massive thing for me. We've had this break, the players are coming back to some sort of fitness now, and I'm hoping that we can kind of push on for the rest of this season and just have a fantastic end. They needed this break. These 10 days have been a real chance for us to have a breather. They've gone to the UAE, they've had a break, and they can come back refreshed now. The only thing I hope is that the kind of break hasn't dented the momentum. You'd hope it wouldn't, because they've gone on a break full of confidence. There's no reason why they wouldn't come back from the break full of confidence. But when you are in a good run, you sometimes don't want any gap in between. But then, like I said about the players that have been injured, we needed that just to bring players a little bit closer to fitness, let everyone have a break, because David Moyes has got every single last bit out of these players, hasn't he? He's worked them, he's got them playing attacking football, he's got them running more than they ever have, which is surprising, really. And I think they did deserve a little bit of a break, but now it's full throttle again. The Premier League's back, and it's time to go and beat these. It's time to go and beat Wolves, and I think Beto's going to be the man again. I think he had a difficult game against Brentford, but he's going to sort it out this time. I think, strikers are going to have games where it doesn't go in for them, and if anyone deserves a little bit of slack cutting for him, it's Beto. Think of the games that he's had recently. Not every game you're going to have it that every chance goes in for you. And I just hope that it doesn't then compound and he has a bad game again. If he struggles against Wolves, that could then get in his head. He's such a confidence player, isn't he? So I'm just hoping he can maybe just get on the score sheet here and completely forget that Brentford game. Because he's so important now, isn't he? He's doing the things that he never did prior to this. He's kind of doing Dominic Calvert-Lewin's job while also being a massive threat when the ball's played through to him. He's finishing chances that Dom never would have at all finished, to be honest. And he's just a massively useful player for us now. And the other thing that I do want to mention about our side is the people who are feeding Beto, Harrison and Lindstrom. I'm desperate for one of them to get a goal. And please, can that come at Molineux? Particularly Lindstrom, really. I feel like we know what Harrison's about now, and he has his good spells and he has his bad spells, and he's probably not going to stay any longer, but there's still that little bit of a chance that Jesper Lindstrom could perhaps earn himself a deal, and it's not looking likely at the moment because he's just got to get his numbers up. And for me, I think we're waiting for one goal from Jesper Lindstrom before he just explodes into life. He's working hard, he's doing the defensive side of it really well, so it's just that one thing we need the ball to just go in for him however possible, even in the weirdest way, and then I think he'll start thriving from there. So that'd be ideal if that happened in this Wolves game. It's a night game, all the Blues will be going, and I know it's a bit of a weird away end, but I'm sure they'll make a noise as well. Don't know if you've seen it, but the away end is stretched across the side of Molineux, so rather than being compact in this tight away end, you're actually spread out, so you sometimes hear one song at one end and another at the other. It's really weird, but I'm sure the Blues will make the noise, and when they're in this feeling at the moment when we're playing well, then there's no reason not to, is there? But my prediction for this is I'm going to go with a lovely 1-0 Everton. We haven't had a clean sheet in 5 games, so I think we're due one. And I'm not massively worried about the Wolves side. You think Mateus Cunha's suspended. They've not got Goncalo Guedes. Obviously Kalajic is injured as well. So I feel like the star talent isn't really there. And I think we can absolutely go and beat these. And I'm confident that we will. So Everton 1, Wolverhampton 0. But I do hope you've enjoyed the preview. Let me know in the comments if you've made any changes to the team. I don't think there's a lot of debate really with the team now. It's pretty set, isn't it? We're enjoying how it is. Maybe you'll start seeing Chimiti feature a little bit more as he returns to fitness, but I suppose we'll hear about that in David Moyes' press conference. But thank you very much for watching. That has been your preview, and I'll speak to you next time.